Hi, today we have Jessica. Uh, this is her mother, and this is her aunt, who are going to share with us about Jessica's health. And this is very important because it has to do with the pandemic that we are suffering today. And today's date is December 11, 2009. Can you tell us something about Jessica's case? Sure. Jessica, my daughter, she received treatment in the civilian hospital. She was admitted because of kidney failure, apparently. She started receiving treatment about 1.5 years ago. She presented some kind of swelling in parts of her body, such as her eyes, her face, and her feet. So I took her to do some tests, and they told me it was some kind of kidney failure. But we didn't know what it really was or how severe it was, so we didn't know what to do. Afterwards, I took her to a neurologist, and there she received treatment for about 2 to 3 months. The physician gave her a drug called prednisone, but there was no improvement in Jessica's health. One day, the urologist even told me he wouldn't see her anymore, so he sent me to see a nephrologist. Was he a general practitioner, the one you were seeing? Yes, he was a neurologist. Okay, and he said he wasn't able to treat her anymore. Yes, he treated her for about 3 months, and after that, he told us he wouldn't see her anymore. And in those months, there were no improvement, right? Yes, she received three kind of different medicines, but there were no improvements in her health. So we went to see this nephrologist. The urologist had recommended, but she kept taking the same medicines. She gave me more prednisone. Yeah, she increased the dose to 50 milligrams. Personally, I didn't like this nephrologist at all. He was always saying the same things. He increased and reduced the doses periodically, and the problem remained the same. How long did you see this nephrologist? Almost 1.5 months, approximately. Oh, 1.5 months wasted because there were no improvements. So what happened afterwards? Yes, we started the treatment in June, and we kept it until September. Fortunately, my sister told me to take her to the hospital because he had some contacts there in the nephrology department. So we went there. She was admitted, and they performed a kidney biopsy, and the results show an IgA kidney failure. And this was performed at the Guadalajara Civilian Hospital. What happened next? There she received treatment, and they gave her another kind of drug, but she continued giving her the prednisone. She kept taking it all the time, but with the same dose, 50 milligrams. She kept taking it for about 3 more months, and there were no improvements at all, right? No, there were some minor improvements, but she developed some cataracts on both her eyes as a side effect because of the prednisone dosages. So it was a side effects due to the allopathic medicine. This is very common, yeah. Yes, it was. What happened next? She still has some side effects because of the prednisone. As you can see, there is some swelling on her cheek and in most of her body, but we saw some improvements in her health. They made her stop taking the prednisone in May this year. Apparently, everything was going all right. So we planned a trip to the beach. It was in August. I asked the nephrologist if she was able to go on vacation. He agreed. So we went to the beach. But unfortunately, when we came back, Jessica had a recurrence in her health. She got worse. She got worse than the way she was before. there was a lot of swelling. She got depressed. She got the test, and the results weren't very optimistic. So, so what was the diagnosis that they gave to Jessica? What was the problem apart from the kidney? Apparently, it was just the kidney. But when they performed several tests on her, they found out that the problem could be lupus. So they said that the problem could have been lupus from the beginning, but this disease is kind of hard to detect. So we decided to perform a second kidney biopsy. And what were the results of that second biopsy? They were positive for lupus. So how did you decide to come here with Roberto Valverde to solve this lupus problem? When we realized my daughter had lupus, it was very painful for us because I had seen before a case of lupus and I thought it was a very difficult disease and it affects you really hard. So we decided to go for another alternative. We praise the Lord for miracles because I believe it was a miracle. One day my sister took the wrong street and she saw your clinic's billboard. The Roberto Valverde's billboard? Yes, it was the billboard about the incurable diseases. Yes, the 99 incurable diseases that are in fact curable without using any kind of drugs. Correct. I saw the advertisement and I called my sister and I told her about it and she told me to call the number. So the next day that I saw the billboard, which is on Jesus Garcia Street, I wrote down the number and afterwards I made a call and shared with you the information about Jessica's case, where you told us you would be able to treat her. Do you remember how long I told you it would take to heal her? Yes, I remember, between 8 to 15 days. And how long has it been since we started the treatment? About a month now, yeah. And you have been here only 4 times, right? Yes, that's right. And she's been under treatment for about 1 month, right? So how many changes or what changes have you seen in Jessica's? Many changes. I remember her feet when she came the first time. They were very swollen. This kind of symptoms happen only on diabetic people because of the water retention. So she had a positive reaction to the treatment. Yes, because she was very swollen that she had to wear my jeans since her didn't fit at all. But now look at her. She's wearing her own jeans now. So we can even say that in these last 15 days of the treatment, we have seen many positive changes. We have been running tests every 15 days and we have seen the results and they are very positive. How many tests have you shown me? I think 3, 2 or 3. No, 3. The first one when we start the treatment, at the middle of the treatment, and this last one. And you have seen some drastic changes. I want to mention this because maybe you were nervous about the problem and you didn't follow my directions very well. I told you to place the magnets on certain parts of the body, but you mistakenly placed them somewhere else. So we wasted 1 week of the treatment. When this happened, there is no healing, but we managed to fix that and we got back on track with the treatment. I remember one day you came kind of disappointed because you didn't saw any improvements in her health, but we analyzed what the problem was and saw that the magnets were not placed correctly. So when we made the adjustments, we started seeing some improvements immediately. So we saw some improvements in Jessica's eyes because you mentioned that Jessica developed cataracts in both her eyes, right? Right. I remember one day she told me she wasn't able to see very well because the light was blurring her vision. So we went to a clinic that is nearby my house, and they performed several tests on her. The ophthalmologist was surprised because she saw that Jessica had some kind of star-shaped cataracts, and that was very unusual. Probably she would have to go under surgery, but as she was taking prednisone, she was not able to have the surgery. She told us that she would have to stop taking the prednisone and wait for 3 months before the surgery could be performed. After hearing that, I was disappointed, so I went to see another doctor, but she told me the same thing. And we went to ophthalmology at the appointment, and the results were positive again. But as we can see now, the tests, there have been some major improvements. We can see that Jessica has been feeling well. She got back her color. She's eating better. She's getting back in her ideal well. She's been urinating normally, and that is fantastic. I'd like to congratulate you for these improvements. You have been doing a great job placing the magnets on Jessica, and she looks different. Thank you very much for sharing. Let's take a closer look at Jessica, the renewed Jessica.
All over the world, tonight, all over the world, you can hear the sounds of lovers in love. You know what I mean? Of just the two of us and nobody else. In sight, there's nobody else.